Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Luke Shaw spoke after England's 2-1 win against Switzerland. Luke Shaw prefers playing for England than Man United. Shaw scored the equaliser against Switzerland. Luke Shaw has been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Shaw's made over 140 appearances in the Premier League for Man United. He's scored 2 goals for the club. Luke Shaw has under 2 years left on his current contract. Shaw has actually enjoyed a lot of poor games this season for Man United. I thought he was far superior last season to how he has been this season. Earlier on this season, Shaw had quite a few injuries. Well, he is injury prone, which is a concern. Now, just want to give you some news on Edinson Cavani. According to The Sun, Edinson Cavani is close to agreeing a move to Real Sociedad. Edinson Cavani has held talks with Real Sociedad. Cavani is out of contract at Man United in the summer. Manchester United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Earlier on this season, he had a groin injury. He's had quite a few injuries since he came to the club. So that's the news on Cavani. Now, as you all know, Man United are searching for a new permanent manager. Erik ten Hag is the favourite to become Manchester United's next permanent manager. Not so long ago, Erik ten Hag was interviewed for the Man United job, and Erik ten Hag came through the interview with flying colours. Erik ten Hag is ready to leave Ajax at the end of this season. Ajax CEO Edwin van der Sar will not stand in Erik ten Hag's way if he asks to make a move to Manchester United. Man United are planning to offer Erik ten Hag a 5-year contract. Rangnick wants Erik ten Hag to become Man United's next manager, and a lot of Manchester United fans would like to see Erik ten Hag get recommended in. It'd be good for Erik ten Hag to come and experience the Premier League because he's not yet managed in the Premier League. You've got to admire the work Erik ten Hag has done at Ajax. He's won some Dutch Cups, won a couple of Eredivisie titles, and revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. So there you go, and he's been the Ajax manager for over 4 years. Ajax appointed him in back in December 2017. His contract at Ajax expires next year. Before Ajax, he managed Utrecht. Before then, he managed Bayern Munich's reserves. And before then, he managed Go Ahead Eagles. There's still a lot of rumours coming out about Mauricio Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino will have to wait for a decision on his future. It said not so long ago that Manchester United may have run out of time to appoint Mauricio Pochettino as PSG's cost became clear. PSG may have to pay 17 million to sack Pochettino. Pochettino wants to stay at PSG. Pochettino is under pressure at PSG. He's been the PSG manager for over a year. He's won a French Cup with them. His contract at PSG expires next year. Pochettino is proven in the Premier League, which is beneficial because before PSG he enjoyed a 5.5-year managerial tenure with Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his managerial tenure at Tottenham, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four. And revert back to 2018, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. At one point, he almost won the league when he was Tottenham manager. Tottenham made a bad mistake sacking him at the time, and before Tottenham, he managed Southampton. He only enjoyed a short managerial tenure with Southampton, but still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. So they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far, and a lot of years ago he managed Espanyol. You know, the vast majority of Manchester United players would like to see Pochettino become the next manager. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettino then, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson retired. Even though Man United are not really known as a sacking football club, the managers we've sacked since Ferguson, we sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So Man United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. The other week it said Manchester United are considering sacking Ralf Rangnick. Ralf Rangnick, he's Manchester United's interim manager. He's been Manchester United's interim manager for over 3 months. It initially said that he's Man United's interim manager till the end of the season, then he's expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. But the consultancy role is now in doubt. Rangnick has lost 4 games in all competitions as Manchester United's interim manager. There's been good performances under Rangnick. There's also been poor performances as well, but he's been totally blameless for the poor performances. I think the players have had to take responsibility for the poor performances. Like I've said, I've got a lot of respect for Rangnick. I think he's a very good coach. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Earlier on this season, Rangnick recommended Ewan Sharping as an assistant coach and analyst. He recommended Chris Armisen as an assistant coach, and he recommended Saz Chalenzin as a sports psychologist. Rangnick has enjoyed 1 transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. Unfortunately, Rangnick did not get backed in the January transfer window. Man United enjoyed a very disappointing January transfer window this year. Rangnick said his aim is for Man United to finish in the top 4 this season. Well, Man United are now focusing on finishing in the top 4 this season because Man United cannot win a trophy this season We've not won a trophy for 5 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. You know, in the last 10 years, Manchester United have only won 4 trophies. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. And in the last 10 years, Manchester United have spent over 1.3 billion. You know, we've brought over 40 players in since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. You know, when we had Moyes, he brought, 2 players in. When we had Van Gaal, he brought around, 15, 16 players in, something like that. When we had Mourinho, he recommended around 11 players into the club. And when Solskjaer was Man United manager, he brought around 14 players in. There's 2 players in from the Ferguson era, that's Jones and De Gea. Let me put into the equation, Rangnick is inheriting players who other managers have brought in, so none of this squad is Rangnick's. Revert back to a few weeks ago, it said the Glazers are planning to demolish Old Trafford as Man United look to upgrade the stadium. Man United have played in the same stadium for 112 years. Old Trafford is the second biggest stadium in England. Man United are looking to increase the capacity to around 80,000. At the moment, Old Trafford holds around 75,000. So do you think Old Trafford should be demolished? The Glazers, you know, they've owned Man United for a long time. The Glazers have owned Manchester United now for around 16.5 years. The Glazers bought the club for 500 million back in 2005. And I said they've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. It was good news from a Man United perspective that Ed Woodward stepped down earlier on this year. Woodward, you know, was one of the biggest issues at the club. You know, he was accountable for how poor our recruitment policy was. Woodward was Manchester United's vice chairman for around 17 years. Earlier on this year, Richard Arnold replaced Ed Woodward. But like I say, Manchester United have not been the same team since Ferguson retired, and a lot of Manchester United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. We've got to accept that no one will replicate what Ferguson did at the club. Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles, but he didn't settle in straight away, Ferguson, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Alex Ferguson was at Manchester United for around 26 years, so reflecting on that, he was a long-serving manager. In the summer of this year, I'm expecting Manchester United to make signings. I think in the summer of this year, Man United will sign a midfielder and a striker. On the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club in the summer. So in the summer, Cavani will be leaving, like I've mentioned. I'm expecting Jesse Lingard to leave. Lingard should have left in January, but Man United blocked his exit. Lingard's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Lingard has been part of the club for a long time, but you know, he doesn't really get in the team. At the second half of last season, he enjoyed the 4-month loan spell at West Ham and he made an impact. Martial, I'm expecting him to leave permanently this summer. Martial's on loan at Sevilla. Van der Beek, he could leave permanently this summer. He's out on loan with Everton. Juan Mata, he'll leave Man United in the summer. Matt is out of contract in the summer. Matt has been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Man United got Matt from Chelsea back in 2014, got him for 37.1 million. I initially thought Ronaldo was going to be leaving this summer, but it looks like he's not leaving this summer now, because the other week AS said that Ronaldo has no plans to leave Man United this summer. He's willing to see out the final year of his contract. You know, Ronaldo's contract at Man United does expire next year, but there's an option of a further year. Don't forget, Ronaldo recently got voted the Player of the Month for March. Won quite a few individual awards since he re-signed for the club. Earlier on this season, Ronaldo held crunch talks with his agent Jorge Mendes over his Man United future, and he threatened to quit Ronaldo following his Derby Day absence. Ronaldo didn't play any part in the 4-1 defeat to Man City at the Etihad because it said Ronaldo had a knock. Don't forget, Ronaldo got a hat-trick in the 3-2 win against Tottenham. It was his first hat-trick since he re-signed, and he became the highest scorer in football history. Ronaldo scored 18 goals in all competitions since he re-signed for Man United. He's got over 800 goals in his career, and Man United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million with add-ons included, and he wears a number 7 shirt. He's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Matic, he'll leave Manchester United in the summer. He's out of contract in the summer. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he's been given his opportunities. He's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got at the moment. Manchester United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017. Got him for 40 million. Good chance that Paul Pogba will be leaving Man United this summer. I don't think Paul Pogba knows where his future lies. Not so long ago, it said Paul Pogba was in talks with 2 Premier League clubs, with his contract set to end at the end of the season. Real Madrid, his former club Juventus and PSG have also been in for him. Earlier on this season, Pogba's trainer claimed that he wants to leave Old Trafford. Earlier on this season, Pogba was out with injury for a while. He's endured quite a few injuries since he re-signed for the club, so he is injury prone. This season has been Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and he's played over 200 games since he re-signed. And Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because Manchester United paid £89 million for him. Jones and Bailly also expecting them to leave in the summer because they don't really get in the team. Man United are looking to sell Harry Maguire in the summer. You know, Harry Maguire is not good enough to represent the club. I can't understand how he's still Manchester United captain. You know, a lot of Man United fans have been demanding for the captaincy to be taken off Maguire. Earlier on this season, though, Rangnick said that Maguire will remain Man United captain until the end of the season. You know, Maguire's been at Man United over 2 years, and he's had quite a few injuries since he came to the club. Maguire is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment because Man United paid 80 million for him. Definitely overpaid for him. We could look to sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well in the summer. You know, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's not good enough. Plus, he's not our first choice right back under Rangnick. Diego Dalot's our first choice right back under Rangnick. Rashford, You know, there's a good chance he'll be leaving Man United this summer. Like he updated you recently, it said Marcus Rashford tells friends he wants to leave Manchester United. Romano said earlier on this season that Marcus Rashford is considering his future with Man United as he's concerned about his lack of playing time. Rashford has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. I'm hearing now Arsenal are in for Rashford. Barcelona have been interested in him. Real Madrid and PSG have been in for him before, and Atletico Madrid have been in for him. Rashford is a good player overall, but he has endured a lot of poor games this season. He hasn't been the same player since he had that shoulder injury. You know, Rashford missed the first 2 months of the season with that shoulder operation. Earlier on this season had a minor leg injury. Rashford has been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016, and since then he's gone on to make nearly 300 appearances in all competitions. Rashford's contract at Man United expires next year. And Dean Henderson, I'm expecting him to leave in the summer. Henderson's our second choice goalkeeper. Doesn't really get in goal. Henderson has only made 3 appearances this season. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.